Welcome to iAddress Flex, the super sleek and pay-as-you-go version of iAddress, helping you make your databases super clean and away from that dirty data, because nobody wants to have data that's dirty. So let's clean it up. Let's get into it. So the first thing you got to do is put in your login credentials and click on Log in. Here we go. We are on the home page. So we've got some very convenient buttons located here to help you navigate the software. If you like to create a job, you can go ahead and click on Create a Job. You want to purchase some transactions, view your completed jobs, or access some health information. We've got it all here conveniently for you. The software also lets you know how many transactions you have on your account, so you're well aware if you need to make any more purchases or if you're good to go to start your first job. Over here on the top right-hand corner, we've got some very helpful tabs. If you want to request some training, you can do that here. Some security documentations, terms and license agreements. And if you want to log out of the program, you can sign out here. Today, we're going to start our first job in the software, so we can do that by clicking on Create Job. So here we are at the Create Job screen. We've got our job information located here up at the top and our quick navigation menu guiding us through all of the steps in creating a job. And we've got little helpful information in our little tiny question marks. So we got help text located all throughout the software to guide you in case you have some questions or you feel a little lost. So that's okay. We got you. We got you covered with our little tool tips. So what you want to do first is you want to give your job a name and select your induction date on the calendar, your mailing date. So let's just say we're going to do that on the 20th. Go into your machine and grab your database or your database file that you want to use. And here we go. Mine is populated over here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Next Page. And here we go. We've got all of our spreadsheet information located on this page. The software will automatically pull all information from your database and populate it over here. In case it missed something, you can always go to the mapping fields and click on the drop downs and add whichever additional mapping fields you would like to add to your job. So we've got the name fields, your spreadsheet information up here. So you can, if you've got like multiple sheets, you can always designate whichever sheet you want to work on. So I want to work on the first one. We've got the name fields map, the company name. If you wanted to add another name field or a middle name, if you got that in your spreadsheet, you could definitely do that by clicking on the drop down. We've got our address field mapping showing us how the mail piece is going to look like. The address is going to look like on the mail piece. So it's going to be in separate fields in this order. Now you've got the option to force to one line in city province or city province postal code. I don't want to do that. I want to keep it separate fields. So I'm not going to change that. Of course, we've got a language indicator field over here. Now, if you've got a language indicator in your database, you can make that selection down here. If not, it's totally optional. And you can choose your report language and, of course, in which format you'd like to export your job. Maybe I want to export it in Excel, so I can go ahead and make that selection. If everything looks great, you can go ahead and click Next Page. Now, here we are at the Perform Correction page. If you'd like to perform correction, just give that a little tick over here. Now, it was automatically ticked for me, but if and for some reason you didn't want to tick that, then you could do that. Line formatting, again, if you've got no preference, that's fine. The software will automatically choose a format for your document, but if you have specifications, you can select whatever you want. So let's just say I prefer 2 lines because that's the way I want it to go today. Address content formatting. So what type of mailing are you doing? So if you're doing a machinable mail, we've got that option over here for you. And we give you a little preview about what the address is going to look like on your mail piece. So this is an all French example and an all English example. The software will always give you a preview down here, no matter what options you tick at the top. So you know exactly what your mail piece is going to look like when it's going out to your clients. We've got our language options over here. Again, based on your database, if you've got an indicator by province or just by a language indicator, if you just prefer all French or all English, You can make those selections down here. If you don't care, you just click automatic and the software will do its thing. Now, dealing with your uncorrectable addresses, you can choose to leave them in your database, or you can choose to have them removed and a separate export file created with the uncorrectable addresses in there. So you can make that distinction. If you want to do that, you can certainly do so. So everything looks good. We can click next page. If you'd like to perform duplicate removal, go ahead and tick this box like that, and everything will appear ungrayed, and you can choose what criteria over here you would like to be matching against, and also how exact do we want our match to be. Do we want it to be a loose match, a close match, or a very exact one? You can make that distinction over here. I'm going to say I want a close one. And then, of course, you can decide how you want your post processing to happen. That is after the software is done deduping. Would you like the duplicates to be exported, or would you like them to be eliminated from your mailing list? Would you like to save the report, or would you like to export the duplicates with the original file? So you can make that selection over here and click next page when you're ready. And we can also choose to perform move update. So we can tick the little box over here if you want to do the national change of address. That is keeping your database up to date with people who are moving around, so you have the most up-to-date addresses in your contact list. If you want to perform do not mail matching, so basically excluding those people who have decided to put their name on this list and they don't want to be receiving any mail, so maybe you want to make them happy and not send them some mail. So you can take that. And if you want to keep your list up to date with people that are currently alive, then you can perform enhanced deceased suppression matching. Now, to finish up the NCOA process, you do need a service provider terms of use ID, or if you're the list owner, you need a end user terms of use ID. If you do not understand what I'm talking about or you need some help, you can click the hyperlink over here and it'll take you to the Canada Post website where you can fill out a few forms or inform yourself about how to get one of these IDs. And once you've achieved that and you've got your ID ready, you can come back on over here to iAddress Flex and pop in the information in the appropriate fields and click on next page. Now, if you'd like to perform a sort, that can be done over here as well. So you would just populate this button over here, tick that, indicate what type of sort you'd like to do: special handling, machinable, publications to delivery facility pre-sort, or publications mail machinable, whatever it is, incentive letter machinable. Make that distinction over here. Then designate your piece size. Is it oversized, dimensional, rigid? And then pop in all of your piece dimensions. And the software will give you an estimate of how many pieces will be fitting inside your bundle and how many pieces will be fitting inside of a container. And then you can go ahead and pop in your customer number and click on this list to choose an office of deposit. That's where you'll be inducting your mailing. So we've got Mississauga Gateway in here as our office of deposit location, and then quickly pop in your tax rate pertaining to whichever province you're in and click next page. Now you've also got the option to perform geocoding, so you can go ahead and tick this box over here if you're going to be performing geocoding, and you can select if you want it to be in signed or unsigned degrees. Also, you can pop in a postal code, so the software will create a distance list according to the postal codes that you've provided here. You can also provide more than one by just putting in a comma and then going on and on and on and make a larger list. Filter by distance. So filter out any addresses that are either too far or too close to the postal code from your list, or you could do both. So closer than 10 kilometers and further than 10 kilometers is what I put down here for an example. And you could also filter by pieces. So that's keeping the number of pieces closest or furthest from your list and creating a standard size mailing list of your best possible clients. You can do that as well. And if you'd like to filter addresses that could not be geocoded, take those out of your list. You can click this little box over here and the software will go ahead and do that for you. If everything looks good, you can click on next page. And here is your mailing summary. So this is the point where you can look and see if you're happy with all of your selections. If something looks odd, you maybe want to go back and change something. You can go back and click on the section that you think you made an error in and go change whatever you want. And then you can go back to the final summary again and give that a review. If you're happy with everything that's there, click on verify your expected record count. That'll give you the record count right here. So you just got to verify it, take the box and click submit. And there you go. It was easy as that. You completed your first job. Now the software is showing that it is working on processing your job. As soon as it's done, it'll probably show up like the example down here. And then you've got the option to download your job. You can delete your job. You can go back and create another job. You can go back to your general summary. You can now look at your help content if that's what you want to do, or maybe you want to go back and check up on your job if you completed jobs, but we can see it's still working away here. And that's about it. And then you've done it. You've used Flex. And it was easy peasy lemon squeezy. And if you've still got some questions or concerns, you can click on the help information. Now that'll take you to the manual. Or if you really need some help or you've got some specific questions, you could request training by clicking on this tab. And you fill out the web training and support form and indicate if you want a training or if it's a support request, and then click on submit, and we'll be happy to help you with any questions or concerns you have with the software. Now, when you're done, you can just sign out and it'll take you back to this page. Thank you so much for tuning in to this tour of iAddress Flex. Take care now.